who comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I know, huh? Good morning. Yes, I'm still sick. I am feeling better though. I'm stuffed up, so I don't feel the heat, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. So we're making some progress today. Yay! We'll call it progress, right? So hopefully I can get out and go get my hair cut. I don't think that's gonna happen though. I just don't want to get anybody sick, and I'm not willing to go and wear a mask. So I'll wait. No biggie. It's not like it's going to change much of anything. I don't even know if other people get up this early on a Sunday. Of course they do. Church, right? Church. It's a little chilly in here. But, yeah, I'm not going to turn on the heat though. So, no. It'll get there. Put on a jacket or something. It's the basement, and I know it's warm upstairs, so if I go turn on the heat, then that'll wake up the kids, and I want them to sleep right now because it's nice and quiet. So I'll deal with the cold. I'll deal with the cold a little bit. I just need to move around. I take blood thinners, so that doesn't help. That doesn't help. So. Do. Nobody ever expects me at this time in the morning. And, I really want to change this whole nobody shows up thing. And I don't know. I'm going to be doing some revising. How do you like that box? You guys, no, you can't. It's a cat in a box. Yeah. The only one that'll sleep with me, huh? This is the only kitty that'll cuddle with me when I'm sleeping. He doesn't like to be held. They're just surrounding me because they want to go out that window. So, all right, we're at the 3-minute mark. We're way past it. Let's get started. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm going to be your host. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Yep, we all know what we're talking about today, don't we? We sure do. Page 64. Surprise, surprise. Now, resentment comes in a lot of different ways. Yep. I'm going to tell you the way that I see resentment going on right now in Zoom meetings and some. I haven't really been to many live meetings, so I can't speak for that. It's entitlement. It's entitlement. We seem to think that we're entitled to put whatever we want to in chat. We can talk however we want, when that isn't true. It's actually very disruptive, especially when people are flirting or talking sexually in the chat while other people are trying to share. I find it extremely rude. Okay. Entitlement will destroy you, especially when you haven't earned it. Okay. And if you're not above 40, 45, you haven't earned it yet, man. It takes time. And I'm sorry. I know you feel that way. All right. But See, you were given a disservice. Somebody did you a disservice. See, they handed you participation trophies for just showing up. Okay. If I would have went home with with a participation trophy, do you know what my parents would have done? They would have laughed at me. Yeah. And probably tossed it in the trash because it's no good. It's no good. We don't get awards for showing up to life. And now we seem to have this set of people that says, I'm here. What are you going to give me? Nothing. Nothing. I'm going to give you nothing. Because when you feel entitled, you ain't listening. You're not open minded, man. I'm an old dog and I seem to be more open minded than some of these young people, man. Yeah, you still got a lot to learn. You think that changing to the words like sus and receipts and things like that, you think we don't understand what you're saying? Okay. You think you're speaking in code? I'm sorry, you're not that intelligent. You are not more intelligent than the people before you. You're just not. All this does is create division. It's all it ever does. Okay? I could give a fuck less when you were born. I don't care. Okay? I have not sat down and memorized what year millennials are, what year boomers are. I know that I'm Gen X, and that's all. So what? I grew up in a different time. I grew up in a different time. Now, if I had grown up where everything was fed to me, I probably wouldn't be this person. I don't know. I might be. I don't know. Therefore, we started upon a personal inventory. This was step 4. A business which takes no regular inventory usually goes broke. Taking a commercial inventory is a fact finding and fact facing process. It is an effort to discover the truth about the stock in trade. One object is to disclose damaged or unsellable goods to get rid of them promptly and without regret. If the owner of the business is to be successful, he cannot fool himself about values. It means I need to be honest. Okay? Not everything is in red ink, though. While I'm going through this fact facing and fact finding process, I'm also going to find out that I have other things in me that are actually pretty good. I also find that there are some things that where I was just using them incorrectly. Okay. We did exactly the same thing with our lives. We took stock honestly. First, we searched out the flaws in our makeup, which caused our failure. Being convinced that self manifested in various ways was what had defeated us, we can consider its common manifestations. What are common manifestations? They're the feelings that we get from being angry, self pity, ambitions, our self esteem, our security. Bueller. Resentment is the number one offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. Okay? I watch more people leave angry. Look what you did. Don't you see what you people are doing? And they just find anger everywhere in the group. And then they will blame the group. Then they will blame this and that for their own sobriety. I don't buy it. Bye-bye. I don't I will give you about 5 seconds of my time if you are angry and leaving AA. I want to hear it because it always turns into name calling. Always. Once name calling starts, I'm out. I'm out. Right? And I'm going to do everything that I can not to name call back. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't want to owe this asshole an amends. Nope. Nope. No thanks. See, sometimes I won't do things because I don't know that I want to make an amends to this other person. There's nothing worse than a person that says, you'll thank me later. Man, the amount of not playing God there. Okay. It just from it stem all forms of spiritual disease. Not some, all of them. All of them. No. Because see, these may come in different ways for some of us, right? Depends on our bottom. Depends on our bottom. It depends on when that psychic change happens, when we decide, we don't want to drink anymore. We don't want to run around and be jerks anymore, right? Okay. For we have not only been mentally and physically ill, we have been spiritually sick. When the spiritual malady is overcome, we straighten out mentally and physically. That's exactly how it works. I have not seen it work any other way. Okay. And including other ways, man. Even ones that do not involve God. Just talks about a higher power. It doesn't say that you have to believe in some Christian Catholic God. No. Uh-uh. There are different ways. You bet. I personally feel that I get more, though, because I have God in my life. Does that make me better than? Absolutely not. I just get to enjoy more of it. I'm not angry at them for not enjoying their life to the maximum. That's not my job. All I can do is be an example. Okay. From my understanding, there's things like I hear things from the Bible and it's like, wow, that's what I do. Like I heard today that you're not supposed to pray in public. You're supposed to pray in private. I'm like, no wonder. I always pray alone. I do not pray with other people. I don't know why. It's just how I am. It's between me and God. It's the one thing in this world that's all fucking mine and you can't have it. Okay? I used to say that about my wife, but that ain't true. She has different relationships. Okay? Not only that, but she's not God. So thank God. In dealing with resentments, we set them on paper. We listed people, institutions, or principles with whom we were angry. We asked ourselves why we were angry. In most cases, we found it was our self-esteem, our pocketbooks, our ambitions, and our personal relationships. We're threatened or were hurt or threatened, so we were sore, we were burned up. On our grudge list, we set opposite each name our injuries. Was it our self-esteem, our security, our ambitions, our personal sex relations, which had been interfered with? We were usually as definite as this example. Now, I want you to take a look at something. Okay. I am resentful at Mr. Brown. The cause, his attention to my wife. Told my wife about my mistress. Brown may get my job at the office. I want you to notice something. Notice how short those lines are. Does this look like you're supposed to be writing a freaking novel? No. No, I'm not writing. I did do a lot of writing, but if I would have done it the way some of these sponsees do it, I would have been on my 4-step for 6 fucking months, writing about my entire life. I might as well just put a book out, because I would have to start at age 4. Yes, I remember shit. I do. I remember it. So we went back through our lives. Nothing counted but thoroughness and honesty. Inward honesty. Okay? When we were finished, we considered it carefully. The first thing apparent that was that this world and its people were often quite wrong. There we go. We found that most people in this world were quite wrong, including us. To conclude that others were wrong was as far as most of us ever got. The usual outcome was that people continued to wrong us and we stayed sore. Oh, yo, people are picking on me. Now, don't get me wrong, I will not tolerate a bully. Okay? But if you're playing the martyr and being an easy target, I'm going to tell you that too, man. Okay? Don't be an easy target. They're out there, man. But the more we fought and we tried to have our own way, the worse matters got. As in war, the victor only seemed to win. Our moments of triumph were short-lived. Moments of triumph. Whenever somebody else is involved, somebody else's emotions are involved, somebody is physically involved, there is no triumph. If somebody is injured or is hurt emotionally, there is no triumph. There is no winner. When someone is proven wrong, there is no winner. There's no winner. See? How about the guy that came in and started flirting with the girls? You're just gonna kick him out? You can't do that. You can pull them aside and say, hey, this is how we act here. If you don't straighten up, then we're gonna have to ask you to leave. Yes, that is how we do it. But we seem to be so stricken with fear lately with some of these things that we tend to react and we want to push people out because we think that they're doing something, right? Well, when we go back to it, when to conclude that others were wrong was as far as most of us ever got, right? So we need to take a look inside. It is plain that a life which includes deep resentment leads only to futility and unhappiness. Yeah, I was very unhappy. And even now, happiness isn't the goal, but I'm happy. Okay. I want balance, not necessarily happiness. Now, here's where it really gets me, right? To the price extent that we permit these to, do we squander the hours that I might have been worthwhile? Letting people live in my head rent free. That's what it's saying there. And when I do that, I am not being of use. I'm in self pity. I'm in me. I'm in myself. Okay. Now, what's great about the 4-step is if we do it fearless and thoroughly, you're going to find a freedom like no other. Okay. The 4-step can be pretty scary. It can seem overwhelming. Okay. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people in the world don't do it. And if you accomplish it, man, you're one of the very few people on the billions of people in this world that actually took time to do this. And there are very big benefits to it. Very big benefits. A happy, useful life for an alcoholic is huge. Going 2 days without drinking is huge for us, is it not? Right? Okay. But with the alcoholic, whose hope is the maintenance and growth of a spiritual experience, this business of resentment is infinitely grave. We found it is fatal. For when harboring such feelings, we shut ourselves off from the sunlight of the spirit. Okay, when you shut off, And this has been my experience, when I shut myself off from the sunlight of the spirit, I shrivel and die. That's what happened to me. Okay. The insanity of alcohol returns and we drink again, and with us to drink is to die. Here was the big one for me. If we were to live, we had to be free of anger. That pisses me off. That's funny, get it? Sorry, I'm still fighting this cold. I didn't think you'd want to hear me hacking away. So, um, and it wasn't just anger from my resentments. I also have PTSD, and a lot of anger came from that also. So much anger that it finally drove off my family. Okay. Not my wife and kids. My wife and kids are around. And my sister, one of my sisters, and my brother in law, and my mom. And I have a lot more people than it sounds, but I'm Mormon. I have 8 brothers and sisters, 20 million cousins. So, but because of my PTSD, I drove off a lot of people in my family. Um, I thought everybody was the enemy, and this was while I was in recovery. It's about 2 years sober, 8 years and 2 more days, and it came up quick. Hope I'm well by Tuesday. Cool. I hope I'm well by Tuesday so I can celebrate my birthday. If not, I'll celebrate on Friday. I'm speaking. So, the grouch and the brainstorm were not for us. They may be the dubious luxury of normal men, but for alcoholics, these things are poison. I'm going to let you know, anger is not okay for the dubious luxury of normal men either. Okay? Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. I know plenty of people that are non-alcoholic in my family that had anger problems, that have heart attacks and shit at very, very young ages because of anger. Because of anger. Good morning, Gary. It's good to see you, brother. I don't usually, between work and all this other stuff, I don't see you on here that often. So it's good to see you. Usually on Sundays. Same as it ever was. We turn back to the list where it held the key to the future. And our future is freedom. We were prepared to look at it from an entirely different angle. What are we looking at an entirely different angle? The world. That's what we're looking at. I'm going to give you a good example. I did EMDR, and it worked fantastic. Okay. Now, before EMDR, I'd think about the man that raised me, and flashbacks of him just hating me coming up. I remember the biggest flashback was this: when we were going back to Mount Airy Psychiatric Center. Sometimes he'd be the only one that drove me. I hated that because I'd get lectured, and he would tell me, I could have bought 3 fucking Lamborghinis with the money I spent on you over the summer. Things like that. Now, I did EMDR, and afterwards, all I can really come up with is he did the best that he could. But I don't have any, it isn't beyond that anymore. I don't hate him. I don't even dislike him. He's just he's just the guy that raised me that made a bunch of fucking mistakes, man. I can't do anything beyond that. Beyond that is blame. Beyond that is resentment. Okay. No, I want him to live at. I hope the rest of his life is fucking wonderful. I really do. Eh? He just he just lost a child. You know. The stepsister. I wasn't invited to. Yeah. See, somebody in my family dies and I don't get it. Now, should I be angry about that? It just occurred to me I never got invited, but I wasn't expecting an invite either. Right? I got a little hurt when I thought of it. Okay, but it isn't staying. It doesn't have anything to do with me. Okay, that's why. Oh, gee, Dion, you never knew this person. Come on, let's think about this stuff. Okay. We began to see the world and its people really dominated us. In that state, the wrongdoing of others, fancied or real, had the power to actually kill. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. Bullshit. Bullshit. I call bullshit. Yeah. You call somebody crazy long enough, you know what they turn into? Crazy. There's a system. There's a system. How could we escape? We saw that these resentments must be mastered, but how? We could not wish them away any more than we could alcohol. This was our course. We realized that the people who wronged us were perhaps spiritually sick, like us. Now, when we discover that other people are just like us, what's the golden rule? What's the golden rule? Do unto others as you would have done to you, man. That's the golden rule. Though we did not like their symptoms and the way they disturbed us, they, like ourselves, were sick too. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Don't, now, if you want to go sick or whatever, maybe you could just go with I don't know, because sometimes you will meet somebody and they will disturb you because they have a shit ton of spirituality and you ain't doing nothing. Okay. Let's be honest about this. Okay. When I was drinking, I hated being around my stepdad. You guys know that. Why? Because he could see right through me. And I hated it. Now I'm around him. I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all. In fact, I enjoy being around him. Why? Because he can see right through me and I don't have anything to hide anymore. So it's nice. So don't be going around judging other people. It's about taking a look inside. Well, that person's sick. I've heard some people say that. I'm looking over there. I'm like, no, they're not. They're actually right on cue. Okay. They're not sick. No. Their eyes are shining. You just don't want to hear what they have to say. They said something that disturbs your peace. Okay, let's go on. We ask God to show us the same tolerance, pity, and patience we would cheerfully grant a sick friend. I changed this because I understand what they're saying and why they're doing it. But instead, I ask God to show me the same tolerance, pity, and patience that they would grant me. Better, better, better. I think. For me, all right? See, this is where things can get individualized and we have our own experience. Your experience may be different with this, but it still worked because you followed the instructions. Okay. We avoid retaliation or argument. We wouldn't treat sick people that way. Do you hear that? Well, karma will get them. We avoid retaliation or argument. No, you cannot wish bad karma on somebody. That is resentment. Yeah. If we do, we destroy our chance of being helpful. That person that you think is so sick might be the one person that actually says something that changes your whole fucking life, man. You never know. You never, ever know. We cannot be helpful to all people, but at least God will show us how to take a kindly and tolerant view of each and every one. Now, sometimes the best thing for me to do is get the fuck out of the way. If I cannot If I cannot put a hold onto my emotions, then it'd be best if somebody else worked with that person, not me. There's some people I know I can't help. I know that they will frustrate me. I know this. So I don't ask them to, but that does not mean I will not help. Okay. I just know I'm not a good fit for them. Some people cannot handle I'm kind of strict. Okay. I have very few rules, but you got to follow them. They're the rules that I follow to keep me sober. That's it. I'm not going to ask anybody to do anything that I haven't done or that I'm already doing. No. Referring to our list again, putting out of our minds the wrong others had done, we resolutely look for our own mistakes. So in the beginning of your 4-step, you get to bitch about everybody else. Just take the damn chance. Well, I'm not really angry at the fuck you weren't, man. When you came in here, you were full of rage. Quit lying to me. Quit lying to me. Or you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to poke you till you get mad. So you have a resentment at me, and then we're going to talk about it. Sure, you want me to sponsor you. Oh, you don't get mad? You don't get mad, huh? 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 You don't get mad, huh? 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 Sticks and stones, my friend. Where had we been selfish, dishonest, self-seeking, and frightened? Though the situation had not been entirely our fault, which doesn't fucking matter because there is no more fault. We tried to disregard the other person involved entirely. Where were we to blame? This is the only time you are going to use blame. This is it. After this, there will be no more assigning of blame because it shouldn't exist. You should be beyond that bullshit by this time. You should be beyond that. Okay? Or I should say more mature than that. Okay? If you do this stuff right, you will actually become more mature than most of the people out there, but yet you'll be able to run around and have fun like a Toys R Us kid. Does that sound fun? It is. The inventory was ours, not the other man's. When we saw fault, we listed them. We placed them before us in black and white. We admitted our wrongs honestly, and we're willing to set these matters right. All right. I realized I was at 33 minutes. I must be feeling better. All right, let's get to this. As I look at myself practicing the 4-step, it is easy to gloss over the wrongs that I have done because I can easily see it as a question of getting even for the wrong done to me. If I continue to relive my old hurt, it is a resentment, and the resentment bars the sunlight from my soul. If I continue to relive hurts and hates, I will hurt and hate myself. After years in the darkness of resentments, I have found the sunlight. I must let go of resentments. I cannot afford them. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good day. Peace out. I love you. Peace out. And have a day.